Imagine a man walking through a dense forest, carrying a heavy backpack. At first, the weight seems manageable. Along the way, he picks up random items, rocks, sticks, even broken glass, thinking they might be useful later. But as he continues, the backpack grows heavier. His steps slow, his energy drains, and eventually he begins to stumble. One day, a stranger stops him and asks, "Why don't you set some of it down?" The man hesitates, replying, "I've carried this for so long, it feels like a part of me." The stranger gently responds, "That doesn't mean it's worth keeping." Are you like that man? Are you carrying unnecessary burdens, emotional, mental, or physical, simply because you've held on to them for too long? Burdens you've clung to out of habit, fear, or misplaced meaning? Here's the truth. What you refuse to let go of could be the very thing holding you back. In this video, we'll explore 7 places where you're likely wasting your energy, guided by the powerful insights of Stoic philosophy. Together, we'll uncover how to lighten your load, preserve your mental energy, and focus on what truly matters. Stay tuned until the end when I'll share practical Stoic strategies you can start using today. And don't keep this to yourself. Share it with someone who might need it. A small act of kindness could make a world of difference. Let's begin. 1. Don't waste energy on people who don't support you. There's a quiet tragedy in seeking approval from those who will never truly support your journey. Stoic philosophy reminds us that not everyone in our circle has our best interests at heart. Epictetus said, "The key is to keep company only with people who uplift you, whose presence calls forth your best." Yet, many of us continue to invest energy into relationships that drain rather than nurture. A few months ago, a close friend reached out to me. He was brimming with excitement, sharing his plans to open a small coffee shop, a dream that had driven him to leave a comfortable office job. His enthusiasm was contagious, and I encouraged him wholeheartedly, even offering advice from my own experiences. But months later, I noticed the absence of progress and reached out, concerned he might be facing challenges. What he shared broke my heart. His family and friends had dismissed his vision, calling it too risky. They urged him to abandon the idea before he even began. Their words, filled with doubt and fear, slowly eroded his motivation. He confessed that he began to believe them, questioning his own abilities. This is what happens when we let unsupportive voices dictate our path. Their doubts become our doubts, their fears seep into our resolve, and before we know it, we're paralyzed, not by failure, but by the absence of belief from those we trusted. Marcus Aurelius teaches us to stand firm against such influences. When you arise in the morning, think of what a privilege it is to be alive, to think, to enjoy, to love. Your energy is precious, meant to be spent on pursuits that bring meaning to your life, not on pleasing those who cannot see your potential. Think of your energy like a fire. Supportive people add fuel, helping your flames burn brighter. Unsupportive people, however, are like wet logs. They dampen your spirit and smother your light. My friend, like so many of us, had unknowingly surrounded himself with those wet logs. The lesson here is simple but profound. Choose your company wisely. Surround yourself with people who believe in your dreams, who celebrate your victories, and who challenge you to grow. These are the relationships that uplift, inspire, and nurture your spirit. The rest, no matter how familiar or long-standing, are weights you must release. For my friend, it wasn't too late. With renewed encouragement and a deliberate effort to distance himself from naysayers, he reignited his dream. Today, his coffee shop stands as a testament to what can happen when you invest your energy in the right places. Remember, your energy is finite. Spend it wisely. Seek out those who uplift you, not those who pull you down. As Epictetus would say, if you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid. Let their doubts fade into the background as you forge your path forward. 2. Don't waste energy on regretting the past. Regret is a thief. It sneaks into your mind, drains your energy, and keeps you tied to moments you cannot change. But here's a truth rooted in Stoic philosophy. The past is gone, and no amount of regret will rewrite it. Marcus Aurelius once said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." We all carry our past, some bitter, some sweet, and some that cut like glass. For me, it was the words of a family member. They once told me I would never amount to anything, dismissing my potential with a cruel finality. Those words became my shadow, following me everywhere, whispering doubt and holding me back. Even as I grew and achieved more than they ever imagined, the echoes of their criticism lingered. For years I carried that weight, reliving the sting of those moments, as if by replaying them, I could find closure. But instead, I found exhaustion. Regret is like staring at a fire long after the flames have died. The warmth is gone and all that remains is ash. You can choose to sift through it endlessly, or you can move forward and build something new. The Stoics teach us amor fati, to love one's fate. This doesn't mean embracing pain, but rather accepting it as part of life's journey. Your past, whether glorious or grim, is a chapter. It is not the whole story. Think of the man carrying a backpack filled with rocks. At first, the load seemed bearable, but as he trudged on, each step became harder, the weight pressing down on him. What if he stopped and left behind the heaviest rocks, those that served no purpose but to hinder him? Would he not walk lighter, faster, and with greater freedom? Regret is one of those rocks. It feels too familiar to let go of, yet it is the very thing holding you back. Letting go of regret doesn't mean forgetting. Instead, it means reframing. Take the lessons your past offers and let them guide you. Remember the triumphs and the beauty, and use them as fuel for the present. The rest, the blame, the guilt, the pain, doesn't deserve space in your heart. Ask yourself, what weight are you still carrying from the past? Is it a comment someone made, a mistake you can't forgive yourself for, or a relationship that ended badly? Recognize it, and then make the conscious choice to set it down. The energy you free up can be redirected to the things that truly matter: your goals, your growth, your peace. As Marcus Aurelius reminded himself, if you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it. And this you have the power to revoke at any moment. Today, choose to revoke the power of regret. Choose to carry only what serves you, and let the rest fall away. 3. Stop wasting energy on things that aren't worth it. Have you ever felt like you're pouring from an empty cup, giving so much of yourself while receiving little in return? Stoic philosophy teaches us the importance of discernment, of knowing what truly deserves our time, effort, and energy. As Seneca once said, it is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste a lot of it. I remember a colleague who was always the first to volunteer, the first to offer help, and the last to leave the office. She gave endlessly to everyone around her. Whenever someone needed advice, she was there. When tasks piled up, she took on more than her fair share. At first, her generosity seemed admirable, but over time, I noticed the toll it took on her. She began to look tired, defeated. Her passion faded, replaced by quiet resentment. One day I asked her why she didn't set boundaries. Her answer stayed with me. If I don't do it, who will? It's a noble thought, but one that had drained her completely. She was giving her energy to tasks and people that didn't reciprocate, didn't replenish her. She was exhausting herself on things that, in the grand scheme, didn't truly matter. The Stoics call this the dichotomy of control, the ability to distinguish between what we can and cannot control. Spending your energy on things outside your influence is a recipe for frustration and burnout. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." It's not about selfishness. It's about preserving your energy for what truly aligns with your values and long-term goals. Imagine a farmer trying to water a field with a leaking bucket. No matter how much water they fetch, most of it spills along the way. That's what happens when you waste your energy on things that don't contribute to your growth, happiness, or peace. The bucket never fills, and the field remains barren. Invest your energy wisely. Focus on tasks and relationships that nurture your spirit. Identify activities that align with your core values. Learn to say no when something doesn't serve you or those you care about. It's not neglect, it's clarity. When my colleague finally stepped back, prioritized her efforts, and set clear boundaries, something incredible happened. She rediscovered her enthusiasm and began to excel in ways she never thought possible. By channeling her energy into meaningful pursuits, she not only improved her life, but became an even better support for those who truly needed her. As Seneca reminds us, associate with people who are likely to improve you. Welcome those whom you can improve. The process is mutual. For men, learn while they teach. Choose where your energy flows. It's the difference between flourishing and fading. 4. Don't waste energy on what others think about you. There is a quiet freedom in letting go of the opinions of others, a freedom that Stoic philosophy holds dear. Epictetus once wrote, "Care about what others think, and you will always be their prisoner." These words challenge us to reflect on how much of our energy is spent chasing approval that ultimately doesn't matter. A friend of mine, a talented musician, once confided in me about his deepest fear: judgment. He loved creating music, but found himself paralyzed by the thought of others' opinions. Every time he wrote a song, his excitement was quickly overtaken by self-doubt. What if they think it's terrible? What if they laugh at me? These thoughts became chains, holding him back from sharing his gift with the world. This fear of judgment is something many of us grapple with. Stoic philosophy, however, offers us a liberating perspective. Epictetus wisely said, "It is not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." The opinions of others are external events, beyond your control. Your reaction to them, however, is entirely within your power. Consider this: the world's opinions are as fleeting as the wind. What people admire today, they may dismiss tomorrow. Chasing approval is like running on a treadmill. It exhausts you without ever bringing you closer to fulfillment. Marcus Aurelius reminds us, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Letting go of the need for validation is not about ignoring others entirely. Instead, it's about shifting your focus inward. Imagine you're a ship navigating stormy seas. The waves represent external opinions. They can rock the boat, but they cannot dictate its direction unless you let them. Your internal compass, your values and principles, should be what guides you. Another friend of mine learned this the hard way. She was an artist whose style was bold and unconventional. Her work was often met with mixed reactions. Some praised her creativity, while others dismissed her as too different. For years, she allowed these criticisms to dictate her path, constantly tweaking her art to fit what she thought people wanted. But the more she compromised, the less fulfilled she felt. It wasn't until she embraced Stoic wisdom that things began to change. She stopped asking, "What will they think?" and started asking, "Does this align with my vision?" The moment she let go of others' judgments, her work blossomed. The authenticity she rediscovered resonated deeply with her audience, more than any calculated attempt to please ever had. This is the lesson Stoicism teaches us. Seek approval from within, not without. When you anchor your actions in your principles, you free yourself from the exhausting need to conform to others' expectations. As Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one." Begin practicing this today. Reflect on the moments when you've held back because of what others might think. Recognize that their opinions are not reflections of your worth, but rather of their perspectives. Focus instead on what you can control: your efforts, your choices, and your mindset. The musician I mentioned earlier, he finally mustered the courage to release his songs, imperfections and all. To his surprise, they were met with overwhelming appreciation. He realized that being true to himself was far more rewarding than seeking universal approval. Your energy is finite. Don't waste it chasing applause from a world that will never fully understand you. Instead, spend it living authentically, creating boldly, and walking confidently in your purpose. That is where true freedom lies. 5. Don't waste energy on pursuing perfection. I once knew a designer who had extraordinary talent. Her creativity was unmatched, and her ideas were bold and innovative. But she had one struggle that kept holding her back: her relentless pursuit of perfection. Every project she worked on took twice as long as it should because she couldn't let go of the smallest details. She'd obsess over every shade of color, every line of text, and every minor adjustment. In the end, she often missed deadlines, and worse, she rarely felt satisfied with her work, no matter how exceptional it was. This story is not unique. Many of us fall into the perfectionism trap, believing that flawless execution is the only way to succeed. But Stoic philosophy offers a different perspective. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "If it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it." This teaches us to aim for excellence, but not perfection. To focus on what is right and meaningful, rather than chasing an unattainable ideal. Perfectionism is exhausting because it sets a standard that can never be truly met. It demands energy that could be better spent on growth, learning, and progress. Instead of moving forward, perfectionists remain stuck, paralyzed by the fear of falling short. Seneca observed this tendency, stating, "It is the sign of a great mind to dislike greatness and prefer things in measure to things in excess." In other words, balance is the key. Imagine trying to sculpt a statue from clay. If you focus too much on perfecting one tiny detail, you risk losing sight of the whole piece. Similarly, life is about the bigger picture, progress, effort, and the impact you make, not the unreachable goal of perfection. The Stoics understood this and encouraged embracing imperfection as a natural part of the human experience. Consider the Japanese art of kintsugi, where broken pottery is repaired with gold. The cracks, instead of being hidden, are celebrated as part of the object's history and beauty. This philosophy aligns with the Stoic view that imperfection can be a source of strength, not a flaw to hide. To free yourself from the perfectionism trap, start by reframing your mindset. Recognize that imperfection doesn't mean failure. It means you're human. Focus on progress over perfection and celebrate the steps you take, no matter how small. As Epictetus said, freedom is the only worthy goal in life. It is won by disregarding things that lie beyond our control. The designer I knew eventually learned this lesson. She began setting realistic deadlines for herself and embracing the idea that good enough could still be powerful. Her work became more impactful, her stress diminished, and she rediscovered the joy in her craft. Perfection isn't a goal, it's a distraction. By letting it go, you reclaim your energy for what truly matters: growth, creativity, and the pursuit of excellence. Let your imperfections shine. They're what makes you and your work uniquely remarkable. 6. Don't waste energy on people who only need you occasionally. A close friend once shared a story that left a lasting impression on me. She had a colleague who would reach out only during moments of crisis, when a deadline loomed or personal dilemmas became too overwhelming. My friend, ever generous, always responded, offering her time and emotional support without hesitation. Yet, as the pattern repeated, she realized a hard truth. This colleague never reached out to ask how she was doing or offered support in return. Their connection was built solely on convenience, not care. This story is a stark reminder that not all relationships are equal. Some are reciprocal, enriching your life with mutual support and understanding. Others, like the one my friend experienced, can be one-sided, draining your energy without replenishing it. Stoic philosophy teaches us to value our time and relationships wisely. Seneca once advised, "Associate with people who are likely to improve you. Welcome those whom you yourself can improve. The process is mutual." Imagine you're a tree. You provide shade and nourishment to those around you. But what happens when someone takes and takes, offering nothing in return? Over time, your strength wanes and your roots weaken. Relationships that lack reciprocity are like these takers. They sap your energy without giving you the opportunity to grow. The first step to addressing such dynamics is recognizing them. Pay attention to the people in your life who only appear when they need something. Do they invest time in understanding you? Are they present during your struggles, or do they vanish when you're the one in need? These questions can help you discern whether a relationship is balanced or merely transactional. Once you've identified these patterns, the next step is setting boundaries. Many people fear this, mistaking boundaries for selfishness. But in reality, they are acts of self-respect. By creating space between yourself and those who drain you, you reclaim the energy needed to nurture meaningful relationships and personal growth. Boundaries don't mean cutting people off entirely. Instead, they're about being clear on what you're willing to offer. A kind but firm, "I can't help with that right now," can work wonders. This approach not only protects your energy, but also encourages others to solve their own problems, fostering independence. Finally, focus your energy on the relationships that matter. Invest in connections that inspire and uplift you, people who celebrate your achievements, check in during hard times, and challenge you to grow. Marcus Aurelius reminds us, the soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts. Surround yourself with individuals who bring positivity and wisdom into your life, and you'll find that your energy flourishes. My friend, after much reflection, began to prioritize the relationships that truly mattered. She stopped overextending herself for her colleague and redirected that energy toward people who valued her more than her assistants. This shift not only lightened her emotional load, but also deepened the connections that enriched her life. In the end, your energy is a finite resource. Protect it fiercely. Reserve it for those who reflect your values and appreciate your presence, not those who only appear when it suits them. By doing so, you honor both yourself and the relationships that truly matter. 7. Don't waste energy on problems that aren't yours. A mentor once shared a story about a farmer in a small village. One morning, a neighbor rushed to his door, desperate for help. His cart had broken down, and he needed someone to carry his goods to the market. The farmer, though busy with his own tasks, agreed. The next day, the same neighbor came again, this time asking for help fixing the cart. The pattern continued, and the farmer found himself consumed by his neighbor's problems, neglecting his own fields. By the end of the season, his crops had withered, leaving him with nothing to harvest. This story illustrates a hard truth. When we take on others' burdens indiscriminately, we risk losing control of our own lives. Stoic philosophy warns against this. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Do not let the actions of others disturb your tranquility. Your concern should be with the virtues of your own character." It is a reminder that while helping others is noble, there are limits to how much of their weight we can carry. Life presents us with countless opportunities to fix, assist, or intervene, but not every problem is ours to solve. Imagine trying to keep multiple plates spinning at once. Eventually, they will all come crashing down. Our energy is finite, and wasting it on matters beyond our responsibility depletes the strength we need to face our own challenges. The Stoics teach us to focus on what we can control. Epictetus emphasized, "Some things are up to us, and some things are not." Problems belonging to others, unless directly tied to our responsibilities, often fall outside our sphere of influence. Taking on these issues not only drains our energy, but also prevents others from learning and growing through their struggles. What does this look like in practice? It starts with discernment. Ask yourself, is this truly my problem to solve, or am I stepping in out of habit, guilt, or fear of saying no? If the answer is the latter, it's time to step back. Setting boundaries is not an act of selfishness, it is a necessity. By focusing on your own priorities, you model resilience and clarity for those around you. Offering advice or limited support is often more beneficial than completely taking over someone else's burden. It empowers them to develop their own solutions while preserving their energy for what truly matters. I once knew a friend who constantly mediated family disputes. Every argument seemed to pull her into the middle, draining her emotionally and leaving her own goals neglected. When she finally set boundaries and encouraged her relatives to resolve their issues independently, not only did she reclaim her peace, but her family grew stronger in their ability to communicate. Seneca wisely observed, "He suffers more than necessary, who suffers before it is necessary." By choosing to focus on your own path and letting others walk theirs, you protect your well-being while allowing them the space to grow. Spend your energy where it counts, on your growth, your goals, and your peace. As we come to the end of this journey through Stoic philosophy and the art of preserving your energy, let us reflect on the lessons we've uncovered. Your energy is precious, a finite resource that deserves to be protected and directed toward what truly matters. From letting go of regrets about the past to freeing yourself from the opinions of others, each principle we've discussed is a step toward clarity and peace. Avoid investing your energy in trivial pursuits, unsupportive people, or unattainable perfection. Set boundaries with those who only reach out when they need you. And remember, not every problem is yours to solve. These aren't just abstract ideas, they are practices. And like any skill, they require effort and consistency. Start small. Recognize the areas where your energy is being drained. Reflect daily and take action to redirect your focus toward growth and purpose. With time, these practices will become second nature, empowering you to face life's challenges with calm and strength. As Marcus Aurelius reminds us, the happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts. By cultivating awareness and practicing these Stoic principles, you'll not only reclaim your energy, but also transform your life. I encourage you to share your thoughts and experiences in the comments below. How have you been managing your energy? Which lesson resonated most with you? Your story could inspire someone else to begin their own journey toward balance and resilience.